I think India is at the beginning of something really, really big in terms of the economic growth. We are going to witness a massive kind of expansion in the economy and the markets, and even culturally. So this is just the beginning of a very huge uptrend for the country. When we talk about, from the $4 trillion economy moving to a $30 trillion economy, this is unprecedented. We have that confidence. India has got that confidence to dream like this. And we are going to achieve this. There is that kind of a spirit is there all over India.
So, retail investors like me who are in the habit of, opening my Zerodha account every morning and checking where Nifty is or Gift Nifty is, the markets have been, range bound for the past over a few weeks, I would say. Why is it happening? I mean, the day Donald Trump won, the US markets were up, the global markets were up, the China factor is down. Why are Indian markets not picking up over the past few months, despite being, fundamentally strong? Mr. Bagga first, and maybe then Mr. Veliyath.
Yeah, see, we have done very well over the last 5 years. So Indian markets have been outperforming markets. Overall, if you see, you look at the mega trends driving the global economy, global markets, I would put the first mega trend as India. So don't miss this opportunity is what I keep telling Indian investors. Second big thing is, first fill up your tank with SIPs, then you go into direct investment. If you manage that, we are very fortunate. Porinju started in 1990, so did I. I have seen the Sensex of 79 at 100 going 100 times in 2006 at 10,000. Now that 10,000 will not go 100 times in the next 25 years. That's mathematically very difficult. Your earnings have to grow it becomes very difficult. So we were a very fortunate generation. Unfortunately, we didn't have money or we didn't have the sagacity to invest. Now you know that model working. Coming to the short-term underperformance, maybe it will underperform for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Who knows? Nobody knows. Nobody is consistently good at predicting the markets. What we are very sure, India is going to contribute 20% of incremental global growth for the next 2 decades. It's not for 1 year, next 2 decades. If you look at all the mega trends, after India, AI, robotics, digital. We are 45% of global digital is UPI. Just one product out of India has captured 45% of global market share. You look at renewables, solar will be the petchem of India. Today we spend $130 billion a year importing crude oil. If we just transfer that into either you liquefy the massive coal reserves we have, second you bring in solar, wind, hydro, we already do 15% of our power. Imagine what's going to come. Third very big trend, crypto. Crypto is the world, you can say, the world reaction to misgovernance. Crypto, you must embrace crypto, whatever the tax laws, study crypto. It doesn't mean go and put money in Bitcoin, but understand blockchain, understand the uses. It's going to be very big, and India will provide the expertise in taking crypto high. And just keep remembering, whenever you see a bad government, you say crypto will do well, and put money in crypto. The fourth very big thing going for India is demographics. Japan is today 53. Japan loses 8 lakh people population every year. Every year, 8 lakh less Japanese are there. India is still 29-year-old. China is 39-year-old. Japan is 53. Most of Europe is 45 to 50. Who's the young population? There's a very strong correlation of the youth in the population and the country doing well. So 1 month, 3 months, 1 year, 3 year, doesn't matter. 10 years you are very good, 20 years you are very good. What mistake you will make, what our generation did, we put very little money into equities. Just this morning, the Morgan, sorry Porinju for the long answer, but I just got in the flow. So with your permission, you know how much Indian households have added to their wealth in the last 10 years? Anybody read that? So we were at $5 trillion when Modi government came in. Today we are at $13.5 trillion. Household wealth in India went up nearly 2 times in the last 10 years. 2 is very less because your equity should actually double in 5.5, 6 years. We all try to double it overnight and we lose everything. But 5, 6 years is decent. 3% of Indian household equity is in equity. Still we managed to double, more than double household wealth. It went from 5 to 13. What is that 13 made up of? $3 trillion is gold. Imagine how rich this country is. 30 tons of gold, 30,000 tons of gold is sitting in our lockers or around our necks and on our rings. You have just 1.1 trillion is what the retail household is holding in equity. As that goes up and that keeps doubling every 5, 6 years, imagine what's happening in the next 20. It's okay, $10-12 billion has gone out of about $825 billion that they have invested. Their mark to market today is $825-830 billion. Out of that, 10 has gone, market has fallen. That's okay. The good thing is, as
भारत एक ग्लोबल सुपर पावर बनेगा और मीडिया नहीं होगा तो वो ग्लोबल सुपर पावर बन नहीं सकता है. So we are a dedication towards making India a global superpower. And we are very thrilled about it. We are very excited about it. For what we do is we live our dream and we say, can we make that happen? And I want to make one more prediction. People who think that they can do global news because they have money are totally mistaken. Ideas don't cost money. Ideology doesn't cost money. Nation first doesn't come with money. Belief doesn't come with money. The spirit of challenge doesn't come with money. This Republic Media Network is a fundamental belief that we can make dreams happen if we put our heart to it. 1000%, every single day. There is only one philosophy which guides us. We have many ups and downs. We have difficult days. We have challenging days.
It is possible to explain every tariff that we have levied. It's not to control imports. But yet, do I have a responsibility towards the companies, for instance, in India, the capacities that is existing in India to produce some goods? And we go about importing those goods or those goods in broken down fashion and then reassemble them. Do we have a moral authority to kill or nip in the bud those who are growing in India and who can produce in India? I need to give that protection for them as well. As much as I have to encourage industries which need those imports. Imports are required. Intermediary goods are required to be imported. I will have to encourage that. I will lift the tariffs on them, provided it doesn't, intended or unintended, hurt my own capacity to produce. I have to balance the two.
Very important. It is not about the number of acres that this...
Crores.
Yeah, that's...
that was the SIP.
Every month SIP inflow is...
Yeah. I am very confident this amount will double within next 2 years. It should be something like 50,000 crores every month, meaning something like 6 lakh crores of SIP alone. Maybe much more than that, I don't know. So we are in that, the confidence, as I rightly earlier put, this is like never before. The entrepreneurs, the investors, the businessmen, the communities have never had such kind of a confidence in their life, in their the society on India. So this is a very different kind of thing. I have been in the market for the last 34 years. I think you have the same amount of time in the market. I started as a floor trader in Mumbai in 1990. So I have seen that trading ring outcry system to the most modern electronic T+1 trading system in India. This is like nowhere in the world there is a better system or even equally good system. So we have all those kind of things. I have traded in the market when India was purely a socialistic country, I would say, to today's mostly free market economy. I have traded when India had to pledge our gold. And today we are talking about something like nearly $700 billion of forex reserves. So India has been changing very fast than what all of us think about. And the next 20 years, 25 years, I think it's going to be amazing. We have different threads joining together. Today in the morning session, everyone was talking about all our advantages, the demography, the geopolitical advantages. We are becoming very powerful. Any geopolitical formation in the world, India will be a very important part of it. And our non-aligned policy is really helping. Whichever government has been there, India has been more or less, towards that. And we are becoming very powerful. No country in the world, no large investor in the world can ignore India. We are coming to that kind of a position. So I feel the past has been very good for equity investors in India. I remember, now Equity Intelligence, my firm's name is Equity Intelligence. We do portfolio management. I live in Cochin. It's a small firm. It's a small fund. So anybody
inside the person, the strength of bearing with the challenges and also the kind of demands that come off, that is the strength I'm talking about of a leadership. And you find that in Prime Minister Modi, and I will say this up front before I even open up this conversation with Arnab. A leader of that nature, keeping a team of people working with him, gives the confidence to the ordinary citizen that you are in safe hands, we will work hard, there shall not be any corruption, we are clear where we want to go along with you. It's not a dream of the leader alone. People are also resonating that voice. So to be in that team, I feel very humbled and honored. And all the praise that Arnab might give me, saying, this is what you brought to this position, this
important. Only if you are in Mumbai, you get a feel of it or you can really learn it well. Today there are no geographical barriers. You can be in anywhere in the world, relaxing. If you have a connectivity, you are well connected and everything is on your fingertips. So the world has changed a lot. Of course, I left Mumbai in 1999. I was initially working with Kotak Securities. Then I moved to Parag Parikh Financial Services. Parag Parikh, PPFAs, is a very premium, much respected mutual fund today. So, but I didn't like to live in the cities. So I moved back to my hometown, Cochin. There also I live in my farm, 1 hour away from the city. That's 3 days a week. So life has been beautiful. The journey has been great, thank God. And I'm not a very big investor or very large fund manager like most people around here. So it has been good. I would thank perhaps I was lucky to be in this domain. And I had spent all my resources to learn, my time to learn about it. I was not in a hurry to trade and make money. So that really helped me. So I think a lot of youngsters today moving to options trading, F&O kind of verticals, which is not a healthy trend. Ultimately, all those people may start investing in like value investing. That really makes sense. That is what creates wealth. The other thing is, I think, very near to gambling. Some people, professional traders, or those informed people, which is not really good. Informed people and professional traders may make money, that also if they are lucky. But even someone with 10,000 rupees out there can start investing in equities. We have democratized investing.
True.
So that is something very special about India. The way our digitalization has been democratized. Any individual, any citizen of India can do it. The financialization of the economy. Or what do you say? So we are very special about it. The way Indians has adapted to accepting the new technologies, our UPI or the Aadhaar or the CoWIN app is something nowhere in the world. We don't really realize the value of it. There are a section of people within India criticizing it, thinking of its failure, but we have succeeded everything. All those criticism, and India is the best in absorbing the digitalization and democratizing that. These things are also very important if our economy has to grow to 30 or 40 trillion dollars. Without these things, we cannot do it.
Mr. Bagga, what is your investment philosophy? How do you invest in the market?
No, I have been a manager of investors. I was a CEO. I was very fortunate to be born when I was born, and I wrote the India story. But even now, I would trade in being young again and trying this present India. But I would talk more of the India opportunity, what India is throwing up right now. And we as Indians must not miss that boat. That is the biggest message, if you can take it from this economic summit. You have seen a lot of ministers come in, a lot of finance wizards have talked. Main thing is people spread a lot of negativity. We tend to blow up a few negatives. But if you see the mega trends, those are in favor of India, and India itself is a mega trend. And this is a reversion to the mean. In the 1990s, Angus Maddison, a professor in Europe, had done this study, and that was a standard presentation we used to do. In the mid-2000s, I used to run the fund for Temasek in India. And that really showed how from zero CE to 1700, India was the biggest economy in the world. Columbus discovered America while looking for India. While looking for a trade route into India, America was discovered. America was an emerging market or a frontier market till about 1900. 2 world wars happened which destroyed Europe, and America didn't have wars except for Pearl Harbor on its own mainland. And that made America the reserve currency, and the world changed. India was 27% of global GDP for 1700 years. By the time we were independent, we had come down to 2%. Now out of 106 crores GDP per annum, we are about $4 trillion out of 106. We are slowly bringing, China has already made huge things, huge progress. We are China of 2007. Where we are in GDP, China was in 2007. See where they have come. It is very possible in the next 2 decades. And as Porinju was mentioning, this 4 to 30 will not have same thing coming up. We won't be gems, jewelry, leather exporters. It will be many new things coming in. Think of that. What are the new things coming which will add $26 trillion to the Indian economy? Some of it will be 4 into 2. but there will be 20-25 trillion, which will be totally new economy, new companies, new ways of making money. That is what we have to focus and leave the negatives out. If you have to make money in any market, you have to be optimistic. Without optimism, you will miss the boat.
Do you fear a crash, sir? I mean, there is always that stream of fear mongers who say that this is a bubble, the mutual funds are a bubble, and this is all going to crash. Is it really going to happen? What's your take on?
There's no question of bubble at all. Nowadays, no sensible people are talking that way. Those who understand India and how we are doing today, currently, how what is done today and in the history, that also will be important for the future. So everything is in place. We have created a fantastic platform, especially in the last decade, for the future growth. So, and then that scale of thinking. When we talk about, now railways or port or roads, the scale has moved significantly in the last 10 years. Today in the morning, I was just reading, Sridhar Vembu had tweeted. It was very catching. He was talking about, can India create $100 billion technology companies? And also he's adding, not by market capitalization, by revenue, by the business. He's talking about the business number. So India started thinking of $100 billion revenue companies. So this is not a small thing. This is a new India, where we were scared of dreaming at that level of that scale. So this is something really amazing. That's why I told India is at the beginning of something really, really big. And we have all the symptoms, all the ingredients in place. All the threads are joining together, so there is no stopping.
And if we have to put a number to this, the India story, if we purely look at it from, let's say, a Nifty or Sensex, where do you both, both of you see Nifty probably at 2030 or a 2047, the Amrit Kal vision that the Prime Minister has been talking about?
Oh, I think
you want to give a number?
Nobody's thinking in those terms, the number for the Nifty.
2030, I mean, can we say that Nifty could reach 50,000?
To be very frank, I'm not very sure about the latest Nifty.
Okay.
I don't
double
watch
from
Nifty
where it is
and
right
Sensex,
now.
to be frank.
Okay.
I'm a pure value investor, too long-term value investor.
Okay.
So it's important, which companies. You have to see the businesses individually. Of course, we need to have the macro outlook and everything. We are so lucky to have a stable politics and a strong leader. And our stable politics is going to continue. So there is nothing to worry in those kind of aspects. So there is no reason to be, skeptical like that.
Not skeptical, in fact, bullish, I'm saying. I mean, Mr. Bagga, what would you say? Would you like to give a number?
Very simple formula. Your nominal economy grows at 10-11%. Rule of 72, you can see every 7 years you will double your economy. And the market moves in line with the GDP, 1:1 roughly. Sometimes it's 80%, sometimes it's 120% of the GDP. So roughly, if you are $30 trillion in 2047, which is a good probability, it's not just an Excel sheet, your market will be $30 trillion. Right now, you're $5 trillion. So your Nifty can be 6 times quite easily, and your Sensex can be 6 times. So say 5 lakh Sensex, 1.5 lakh Nifty, not out of the realm of possibility.
That's
very easily. But we will create something so it doesn't become so big. It will be very difficult to trade if there are so many zeros. So we'll just...
Maybe we can have a split on the Sensex.
And 5 lakh Sensex will be difficult. Yeah.
And gentlemen, 5 sectors you would individually bet on over the next 5 years. That would be my last question before I...
Yeah, I think banks to start with, who will fund India. The banks will be the leading sector. Anything to do with consumption in India, be it staples, be it durables, be it auto, all, right now you're seeing a downturn. It will come back, but on a longer term basis, these two. So consumption India, banking India. The third will be IT. We have a very strong competitive advantage as a country. Your service exports will go up. They're already about 350 billion. It will go into the trillions. We will be the hub of all GCCs. Fourth, anything to do with digital, AI, robotics, space. Some of you youngsters will get to go to Mars. A couple of years back, I met in a conference, I met two ladies. And I said, okay, I'll see you again. It was a hedge fund conference. And they said, maybe not Mr. Bagga. I said, why? They said, we are the 50 chosen to go to Mars on SpaceX whenever the rocket goes. So once we go, we are not coming back. We'll settle the colony there. So actually people are there who will go to Mars. It's going to happen. We'll all travel in drones. We'll fly our own drones. I will not be worrying if I'll catch my flight today. I'll just take my drone down to Bangalore. And so it's happening. And you youngsters will see, some of you will go to Mars. So space, transportation, digital, AI, robotics, anything you see, at least put some little money in it. Something will click. We were very lucky. We were given stock options in a IT company by the foreign bank I worked for. And so many of my colleagues, 2,000 rupees became 8 crores, 10 crores, 15 crores, all got retired for life on just that one ESOP. So it's possible. Go with those technologies, this digitalization, financialization, formalization of the economy, all these trends are going to work. So banks, consumers, anything to do with IT, and go to Mars.
Wonderful. Mr. Veliyath, your 5 quick sectors.
Yeah, I think considering the structure of Indian economy and where we are heading to, one need not worry much about the sectors as such, Every sector also has its own problems. And, some companies within the sectors are more futuristic in the nature of business. When you take pharmaceutical, some of them may be stagnant and some of them may not exist after some time. Some of them may go multi-baggers from here. So that is applicable to many sectors in technology. Some of them may die. Some of them may be very small today, much unheard about today, can be billions of dollars market cap in the future. So I feel it's more of, look at the companies, the business model, whether it is how futuristic they are, how relevant they are going to be after 5 years and 10 years, and whether something could be disrupting them. So we have to be watchful about those things more than looking at the sectors. I think as you rightly put, some companies in technology, which may be very small today or medium-sized, the digitization world they are going to do very well. Some of them may be 10x and 20x in the coming years. So you have to create a few small portfolio of such companies, new-gen technology companies, but be very watchful. Some of those good companies, the valuations are very, very difficult for us to start investing at this point of time. Maybe there can be deep corrections. The market do not go linear. We have to be always watchful. There will be corrections. It's part of the journey. Look at the future trajectory of these businesses and stay invested and be watchful. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Mr. Bagga, Mr. Veliyath, thank you very much. Mr. Bagga, we don't want you to miss your flight, so please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ajay Bagga and Mr. Porinju Veliyath. It's a pleasure having you with us.
Imagine the conflict, the dharma sankata of a prime minister. He wants to give vaccination to our people at the earliest. The process of getting our own vaccines ready is taking a bit more time. In the meanwhile, the temptation is that we can get the vaccines from outside, but it came with so many conditions. Were you ready to compromise on those conditions and get them? It's a different story that those vaccinations and their human fitness, as they say, are being questioned now. I'm not talking with the benefit of that doubt which is there. I'm not talking from that, advantage of a future looking back at the past.
It is not about the number of acres that this complex is encompassed